good day, gamers. How you doing? It's me, your favorite United Kingdom YouTuber here. Brand new snapshot out. It's called 21w18a today. A creative name. Ah, yes, very creative indeed. Today's snapshot is a little bit of a smaller one again. Looks like we're starting to lead towards the 1.17 update. However, there are some changes, and hopefully the cave update data pack is less laggy, please. Will it be? Find out the answer soon. If you enjoyed today's snapshot showcase, if you would like me to keep showcasing the snapshots, leave a like on this video. Also, did you know that subscribing is free, and actually you do have to manually do it yourself, so double check, make sure you're subscribed. Alright, so over here at my shrine for my favorite homeland country, I have the snapshot things. In this week's snapshot, we have a change to goats, we have a change to the infested blocks, and we have tons of ore changes in the data pack. This week, let's start with the goat changes. So the goat changes have to do with goats. However, not every single type of goat. Yeah, that's right. There are actually different types of goats in Minecraft. This is something that I kind of breezed over. I didn't really talk about it too much, but this goat right here, it's not a normal goat, even though it looks like it. Same with this goat over here on the hill. We can tell that these are different types of goats by listening to the noises that they make. Go ahead, do the thing. Go, yeah, that thing right there. And that thing in the background of those noises, the screams. Yeah, these goats are actually screaming goats. Yep, that's right. There are actually different types of goats coming in the 1.17 update. Right now, we have 3 different types. We have the normal goat, we have the baby goat, and then we have the screaming goat. So, if you want to get a screaming goat in your world, this is the command that you're going to need right here. Go ahead and do that a couple times, and you'll start getting a bunch of the screaming goats in your world. All of these goats make the really strange human-like sounds, which are like amazing. Definitely need to stock up on these once the update hits. They're the best. In this week's snapshot, a big change has been made to the screaming goat. That thing right there. The ramming. Screaming goats are a little bit more violent too, so they yell and they ram more often. If we stand around in here, I'm sure these goats are going to charge. Yep, they're going to charge me way more often, which means I think getting a goat horn from these goats is going to be a whole lot easier. Now, speaking of goat horns, they're still not in the game over here. If we try and find a goat horn, we only have the goat spawn egg. You're also going to need to keep in mind that you can only get 2 horns from a goat. At least right now, I don't believe that the goat horns actually grow back, so once you get the 2 goat horns, you're kind of done with that screaming goat. However, depending on what the goat horn is actually used for, maybe you'll only need like 1 of these things in the world. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, figure out its actual use. But yeah, either way, it definitely looks like the screaming goats are gonna be a whole lot easier to get goat horns from once you could actually get the goat horn from the screaming goat. I really hope that this trait could be like passed down too. Like, let's say you have 2 screaming goats and you breed them, then you will always have a baby screaming goat too, because that would be amazing. Like, this is a really cool trait. I feel like it's a good potential to mix in the panda breeding stuff into another mob. Developers, please make it happen. Make this trait be able to be passed down. It's so cool. The next and only other change in this week's snapshot has to do with the infested blocks. The infested blocks are now actually going to mine a little bit slower, which I think is going to make them easier to spot. So we have infested stone, we have normal stone. The infested is right here, check this out. It doesn't mine instantly anymore. Before this snapshot, infested blocks, no matter what they were, it mined instantly. Like, no matter what, no enchantments, they would just insta-mine. However, check this out, normal stone up here, slow mine now. So if something is mining slow, then you can actually just stop mining it because you know it's going to be infested and mine something else instead. This behavior is going to go for all of the infested blocks as well. So we have deep slate, which mines kind of slow, and then we have infested deep slate, which mines even slower. We're going to have stone bricks that mine pretty quick, and then infested stone bricks that mine a little bit slower. Cobblestone, which kind of mines medium, and then infested cobblestone, which mines slow medium. I'm not too sure why this change was made, honestly. I feel like the whole insta-mining the infested blocks definitely made them more dangerous. The only thing that I could think of is maybe, are these infested blocks going to become more common in the next update? I mean, think about it. If these blocks become more common and you're insta-mining like a quarter of the blocks that you're trying to dig out, and they're all like silverfish, that's going to be really, really annoying and basically like impossible to avoid. If the stone mines slower and you're used to things, then you're going to know, hey, maybe that's infested. Hey, maybe not. I'll just leave that block there and mine somewhere else. To be clear, that's not confirmed, just kind of speculation here as to why the change may have been made. I'm not too sure. Either way though, no matter what happens, as of today, 21w18a infested blocks are no longer going to be insta-mine blocks no matter what. You'll be able to spot infested blocks a little bit better now because they're going to mine slower. Warning, emotional, potentially at least. It's data pack time, which is where I start to get real nervous here. Can't lie, the data pack lags a lot. It's painful. It's really, really painful. I hope it works. I think this is like V4 of the data pack now. There's only one thing we can do though, in the great words of a prophet. Let's go. Cave update datapack world. Okay, so hopefully it doesn't lag too much right off the bat. Not really seeing anything quite yet. Hopefully we're good though. The cave update datapack has been updated again. This week, the Cave Update Datapack sees a bunch of ore rebalancing. A lot of things have been changed when it comes to where you're going to find things and the sizes and the frequency that you're going to find things. Look at this chart. This is an updated ore chart. These are the changes that have happened in this week's update to the Cave Update Datapack. All of the changes are in the big box over there. This is still not final. Ore change number 1 has to do with iron. The normal size of iron blobs has been slightly reduced to compensate for those large iron ore veins that you can find deep in your world. So let's check this out. There's a couple ore veins over here. What do we have? We have, this looks like a normal 8x8. Excuse me, 2x2 of iron right there. It's a small sample size, but here's another one. This is just a singular block. Maybe that was cut off by this mine shaft. Hey, oh, here's more iron over here. This one looks like it's going to be a decent size one. Another 8 block worth of iron, probably. Oh, no, excuse me. How could I? This is 9 blocks of iron. That's pretty good. Another one right over here. This one looks like it's going to be 1 singular block of iron. Yep, just 1. And then finally, we'll take a look at this one right here. It looks like we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is a decent one, too. Well, maybe that was a bad example, but all of these blobs are actually not bad. Either way, though, according to the changelog, normal-sized iron blobs have been slightly reduced in size to balance things out a little bit. Back to this chart, the vertical range of the smaller blobs of iron ore has been extended. That means you're going to be able to find iron a little bit closer to the surface now. Check this out. We can find like a small blob of iron right up here, like basically at the surface, according to this image. Let's talk a little bit about copper. Copper spawning has been reduced a little bit to compensate for those gigantic ore veins. Remember how big those things are? Those things are crazy. If you find one, you're lucky. You're loaded forever when it comes to copper or iron. So yeah, copper has been reduced a little bit. Speaking of ore veins, large ore veins are slightly more rare now and slightly smaller on average. However, you could still find a gigantic, massive one. Those haven't been entirely removed. Also, the chance to find a raw ore block inside of these ore veins has been increased actually, which I really like that one. Like I said in last week's snapshot, raw ore blocks inside of these ore veins may be one of the best ideas of all time. It really makes it obvious that you found an ore vein if you find one of these raw ore blocks, which is really cool. I'm always looking around for the copper ones because I still feel like they're easier to find. I haven't really found one in this world quite yet unless I missed one. This area maybe looks a little suspicious though. I mean, check this out. There's lots of granite in there. There's copper. Haven't found a raw ore block though. Again, unless I'm missing it. Off topic, but on topic, I've always wished there was a command, kind of like the locate biome command, but it's like a locate block command. You could use it to find like raw ore blocks or whatever. It would like highlight the blocks or something. Could be cool. Speaking of the locate biome command, let's go to an ocean, or let's find an ocean, and then let's go to the ocean. Underneath the ocean, things are going to look a little bit different. As of now, cave carvers generate below Y0 in the ocean biomes. Previously, there was a bug, and if you were in an ocean biome trying to find caves really deep, they just wouldn't generate for whatever reason. Again, it was a bug. It didn't work as intended. Now, speaking of caves, let's talk about noodle caves a little bit. Noodle caves are the new thin type of cave, kind of like this cave system right here. This is a noodle cave. This is one of my favorite changes this week. Good news. The minimum size of noodle caves and carvers has been increased, which means they're gonna cut off way less, which is like amazing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like those thin noodle caves in last week's snapshot, but if they cut off so much, it's not good. They can't cut off too much. Cutting off is yeah, like I said, it's not good. I have seen some caves still cutting off a little bit, like right here, but it seems to happen way less in general now, which is just amazing. Caves definitely shouldn't cut off, because if they cut off, like I said last week, you're going to have a bunch of random like dark patches, and it's not going to be good. It still does happen, but it definitely happens less, and some of these caves still are pretty narrow, which is pretty cool. Speaking of noodle caves, it's time for another segue. Noodle caves will no longer generate above Y30, which means the surface is going to have way less random holes. To be honest, it's not something that I really experienced too much in last week's snapshot, but I guess there were instances when there were like a lot of random holes on the surface because of the noodle cave generation, you know, like winding around on the surface, weird like holes in the ground that don't really go anywhere. Yeah, I didn't really experience it too much. Maybe I was just lucky, but it's gonna happen less. No clean segue for this one, unfortunately. Last but not least, Deep Slate. Deep Slate is good looking. As of this week's update, Deep Slate is going to be a little bit deeper. Deep Slate blobs above Y0 have now been entirely removed. I'm thinking that the Deep Slate blobs above Y0 was just added really for the update split stuff, so you could actually find Deep Slate once 1.17 drops. Not too sure about it, But yeah, it's gone now. So if you want to find Deep Slate, you actually have to go below Y0 again, and it'll generate all over the place. So it's not really hard to get, it's just deeper. Last but not least, I am so glad to say this, gamers, good news. Oh man, do you notice anything? I mean, there's a little bit of lag when the world loads, but overall, this whole time I've been in here, the lag, it does not exist anymore. I'm so happy about this, at least for the most part. Again, could be getting lucky. Everyone's going to be a little different. There are small spikes, but I'm not getting those gigantic stutters when I go across chunk borders anymore, which is when it seemed to happen all the time. It's so amazing. Look at how smooth it is. This is the best performance I've seen in years, at least when it comes to Cave Update Datapack. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, so most of the changes this week in 21w18a actually have to do with the Cave Update Datapack instead of the Snapshot, which could potentially mean one gigantic thing. Remember, nothing's confirmed quite yet, but if the snapshots are getting smaller and just fixing small things, changing small things, we could be getting a whole lot closer to the release of 1.17. I mean, if you take a look at the calendar, we're getting pretty close to summer now, which is kind of crazy in one side of things, but yeah, summer 2021, 1.17. But nothing has been said quite yet, it's not confirmed. Let me know what you think about 1.17's release date down in the comments. Do you think it's actually getting close now, or do you think it's still a ways off? If you enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. It really helps me and the videos out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. I post a brand new video every single day. If you turn that notification bell on, you'll never miss a single video. A couple days ago, I actually just started a brand new series. I'll leave a link to that video on the end card here. It's a Lucky Block Mob Survival. It's pretty sweet. Give it a shot. Big thank you to my certified patrons, Violet Pirate, Dark Panther 7, and Bill W today. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, it's been me, your favorite United Kingdom YouTuber here. I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.